This is ESPN Esports. I'm Arda Ocal. Happy to be joined by Doublelift. TSM have qualified for the 2020 League of Legends World Championship. TSM also moves on in the LCS Summer Split Playoffs. They play Team Liquid on Saturday. And boy, Doublelift, how things have changed since we last spoke. Now, TSM have qualified for Worlds. What a roller coaster ride it has been for you. Take me into the moment that you defeated Cloud9, the team qualified for Worlds. I want to know what was going on in your mind at that moment.
I felt really excited for my team. I felt excited for myself and like proud of myself. I think we worked really hard and it was really stressful along the way because in the middle of playoffs we're doing a roster shuffle. People obviously, if it goes poorly, if we end up getting knocked out of playoffs, it's going to look really bad for the team and the org. Overall, I think if TSM like we didn't make worlds, it would have looked really bad. So there was a lot of pressure. Um, I felt like there was moments during playoffs where uh, I felt like, oh man, I'm not doing as well as I normally do during playoffs, specifically in the first Golden Guardian series. So I felt a lot of personal pressure, I guess, to step up and play better. And then we're making our climb through the losers bracket. We played Dignitas with 3-0 them. I'm feeling a little better. We reverse sweep Golden Guardians in the next set. I'm feeling a lot better. And then leading up to Cloud9's match, I think I just knew like we just needed a bit more time to gel as a team. And then when the series started, I felt so comfortable. And it was almost like I just felt like in the middle of the series, there's no way we're gonna lose. Like there's no way. We totally have it. So it was just a very like relieving feeling when it was all over.
You mentioned the roster swap there. How did you and Biofrost click once he returned?
I think we just clicked in a way of we played together for a lot of time, and I feel like I was his AD carry during his like formative years, I guess, as a pro player. I'm the one who took him and plucked him out of solo queue and essentially got him into the competitive scene and showed him the ropes of how I wanted to play lane. So I guess like his fundamentals in the early game, especially, are a lot more aligned with me. So I felt really comfortable. Um, we clicked, and I think Bio has like some issues as a player that he needed to work on to like fully integrate back into the team. And we had a little bit of time, so we worked really hard at like I guess working on our weaknesses as a bot lane, and then keeping our strengths together.
I know that like you've been very vocal in the past, right? Everyone else is trash. We know that, you've had a lot of opinionated things to say about particularly your bot lane opponents in the past. But this playoffs, this postseason, you've been very complimentary about FBI on Golden Guardians, about Cloud9 as well. Like just being very complimentary about your bot lane, or and tactical, I should say, in particular as well, that I just saw on stream. Like, is this a change of, I guess, paradigm for you, or is this just two specific AD carries that you wanted to shout out? Like, what is the genesis of this?
Well, I feel like throughout my career, I've always given compliments to people who are actually playing well, and usually in NA, there really is not a lot of players who truly are deserving of any sort of praise because I feel like they're just kissing by. They don't they don't play aggressively. They don't actually play to win lane. They don't actually practice hard enough to be really good. Um, I basically just complimented FBI and Huhi. I feel like at this point it's like super overblown. People are like assuming that I like worship FBI or something. I think he played well in the Caitlyn Ash matchup because I'm normally stomping, and in the times that I played him in the second series, he's doing well. Like I don't think either one of us has a huge advantage. I think it's just generally going even. And I felt like I was supposed to. I'm a player who I want to on people in lane, and I want to be like extremely ahead after the first 10 minutes if I'm playing a matchup I'm comfortable with. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought he played well in lane, and I wanted to give him a shout out because I thought he was the best performer on that team, and their bot lane was the best performing lane on that team after we beat them. There's no point in like beating a team when they're down. They just got reverse swept. I'm not going to be like, yeah, they suck. Like I want to, I want to at least show them some respect because it was a really close series and they had a really strong bot lane.
Well,
So
yeah, keep going.
the other thing is like, yeah, sorry, complimenting Cloud9, like again, like they did elevate the region. I have to show them some respect because they did a lot to improve LCS. I think their level of play was actually really aggressive, really fast paced, really just revolutionary, I guess, for LCS at the time. And I think they made everyone who played against them better and better over the course of spring and summer split. So um, usually people try to bait me to talk, and I think that is when I'll like I'm not gonna feed that if I don't feel like it's genuine. So then people get really surprised, I guess, when I say something complimentary.
Now, I'm not baiting you when I ask you this. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts on this. This seems like such a fitting end for your particular story, this split. The fact that, maybe it was taken way out of proportion, but you publicly saying in spring that the spring split matters less, obviously, so far as to say spring split doesn't matter. Then fast forward, and now you eliminate the team that absolutely dominated spring split and most of the summer. They don't make it to Worlds, and the guy that had said that is on the team that eliminated them. Like, it just seems like such a poetic end to your comments in spring to eliminate that team from Worlds contention. Like what are your thoughts when you look back on that?
That's actually pretty funny. Now that I think about it, I never thought about it that way, but that is a pretty fitting end, I guess. I think I still pretty much stand by like what I thought about Spring Split, which is that I took all the significance out of it. Um, I feel like it's really disrespectful to the pro players in LCS that you'd be playing all year, but the only split that really matters for Worlds qualification, which is the North Star, like that's the end goal for every pro player who exists, in my opinion. It only matters in summer split, and it specifically only really matters in playoffs because there's 8 teams that go into playoffs. So I feel like they took a lot of the incentive away for truly giving it your all and like practicing and sweating it out because spring split really didn't matter. Is anyone ever gonna look back on this year and think about Cloud9's dominating spring split? Like, yeah, maybe like some Cloud9 fans, but in like the overall history of like LCS and League Esports, it's gonna just like go under the radar. But in the past, a team that was that dominant and that won the spring split would actually feel like there's like a level of like I deserve to go to Worlds, even if I have a poor performance in summer split playoffs. I still need to make it there. I still need to make like top 3 or top 4 and qualify through either the gauntlet or through automatically qualifying from points. Like I thought that was crazy. And so yeah, coming off of I guess Worlds, last year's Worlds, I felt really, really demotivated because of the new system. And yeah, I mean it's funny that people think I'm right now, but I could see it a long time ago. And again, I've always said like I definitely shouldn't have said that publicly because that was a really disrespectful thing to say when my teammates are trying. And blows. Ninth place sucks.
So you've now qualified for your sixth consecutive Worlds. If you count 2011, this will be now your eighth world or your seventh Worlds, or no, your eighth Worlds that you'll be playing at.
Yeah, I think it's my eighth.
Uh, how did like take me into like have you given thought of how it will unfold? Like no fans, you'll still be playing on LAN. Like that's going to be sort of a new experience, right? Like just like have you thought about how this world's experience will compare to your previous world's experiences?
Yeah, I think this world's gonna be crazy. I mean, like the fact that we're like traveling internationally, but this is gonna be like this little like bubble where there are basically no fans and it's just pro players, and it's kind of like we're living in this like utopian city of pro players that are just practicing for this like in-house tournament while we're like off on some secluded like dome. It is kind of crazy to think about, and I know that some teams have, but I've never played in an empty stadium. Like that happened, I think, for LCK teams, and Maybe for LPL teams, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's definitely happened where people are playing like in like a fake LAN environment where they're on stage but there's no fans. I think it'll be really interesting for LCS because basically since the pandemic started, we have not been going to LCS. We've all been playing our matches from either home or from the office. I think it's going to be like a super unique experience. I'm looking forward to at least making some content out of it because I think it's so crazy. Like in no other point in like League of Legends esports history or like maybe like even esports history is there going to be something like this unless another pandemic happens because yeah, I mean, this is like a one-off thing or hopefully it doesn't last into next year. I'm excited. I'm also a little bit nervous because, the meltdown could happen. Like somebody could get sick somehow, even through all the measures, and then maybe they'd have to shut down Worlds. I mean, there's like so much uncertainty about it, but it's pretty cool.
Have you and the team talked about like even traveling to Worlds? Is there anyone concerned about any part of this?
I don't think anyone. Honestly, we're all just so excited to go. I don't think anyone is at all nervous. But like in the back of my mind, I recognize right away. I'm like, oh wow, like if somebody gets sick, the whole team is gonna get sick, and then does that mean our team's like disqualified or like what happens to Worlds? It's kind of interesting. Obviously, we're gonna do literally everything we can to stay healthy and take protective measures, but everyone is really excited, 100%.
Before I let you go, we're going to be doing a lot of like retrospective Worlds look backs in written form. I'd love to get your thoughts, especially from 2011. Like a lot of people forget that you were there. You were competing at, I guess, the first World Championship. I'd love to get your thoughts and memories on being there and what sticks out for you the most. Like, what do you remember about that experience?
I mean, I was like a really shy nerd with not a lot of friends, so my like lens that I was experiencing Worlds through was so different. It was like I'm finally meeting my online friends who, in my opinion, like I had more in common with these people I played League of Legends with for a couple months than my anyone in real life because I wasn't popular at school. I didn't really have like friends that I played games with in real life. So I always valued my like online friends a lot. So I met them at the airport in Sweden, and that's where Worlds was. And I was so excited. I was like jumping up and down. I was like, oh my god, I'm finally with you guys. Like I can, these guys are like multiple years older than me too, and so it's kind of weird. Like I'm this little kid, 17-year-old kid, and we're just going around. Like I actually remember more about the experience of being there than the actual games because it was such a formative experience for me to travel internationally by myself for the first time, to like participate in a tournament for the first time. Like I'm at a LAN and I'm sitting down on my computer. I'm playing my favorite game, League of Legends, and like there's a crowd. The crowd is like 50 people, but there's a crowd, and it was so interesting. It was like so amazing for me to experience that because like I think that going to the World Championship, that was my very first tournament ever, and it like shaped my love for competing and my like idea that I need to be a pro player. This is like exactly what I want to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was really small back then, but it was really really fun, and I have a lot of great memories.